Welcome back to another episode of the Shadow Sessions. We're here this week. Fran, how you feeling?
That's a loaded question, Shannon. This week has been insane. I've had a lot of, anxiety, which we'll get to that. How are you?
I actually have had a lot of clarity coming in. I feel like the last, God, do I say month, 2 months have just felt so heavy. And I'm actually starting to feel lighter again, which it's been
Yeah.
great.
I mean, January, we're, like, almost at the end of January, and January has felt like the longest year ever.
Yes.
Like, it feels like New Year's Day was, like, months ago. What are we still
Yes.
doing here?
Yes.
What the
Agreed.
hell?
Agreed. Yeah. So what's been coming up for you?
So, I did get a lot of clarity this week, and,
Okay.
but I've been really anxious about, the energies of the world and what's going on, and obviously we're not gonna get into it, but, like, just feeling that energy of the world, and it feels like for me, it feels like I almost wanna say this energy, and I'm gonna sound real. I'm a Taurus, so leave me alone, but it's almost gonna sound like, "I told you so." We're getting to this point right now where it's critical. Like the en hello, where the energy is so critical. I think I heard Teal Swan say this week, like, we're in a pressure cooker. I have felt like this for years, where something has to shift and it's not shifting, because people have to be pushed to the point of shifting, and here we are. Even the planets are saying it. You
So, like, they
got
need to
yeah,
sit with that discomfort
yeah,
and be brave enough to get uncomfortable for a while, and almost gotta be forced into it if you're not
yeah.
doing it willingly.
I love your cat right now, I just have to say it. He wants to be on camera. Is he a
He
Leo?
does. What's that?
Do you know his birthday?
I don't. He was a rescue.
Oh, he's so cute. He's so I was gonna say adorable and cute at the same time, but anyway, but the energy is just wild.
Yeah,
It's for me, I almost wanna be like, "Told you so. We're all here," like, but yes, people have to get pushed to a certain point. It's been wild.
yeah. Well, some of them probably need to be,
Yeah, and I get that. I get that's why we're here,
right,
but if history repeats itself and life is all about patterns, what does that tell us?
right. I actually noticed one of my patterns this week that kinda blew my mind a little bit. So just a short story. I caught this reel on TikTok, and this girl was talking about how she did a past life regression meditation, and she mentioned exactly what the meditation was, and long story short, when she did it, she discovered that she committed suicide in a past life,
Wow.
and she was it made so much sense to her, though, because she was dealing with so much depression in this life, and
Mm.
she was able to get herself help, and she was doing so much better, and love that for her
Yeah.
and whatnot. And so I was like, "I kinda wanna try this. I wanna try this past life regression meditation. I wanna see what I come up with." And so I go into it, and the first thing that he does is he says, "Okay, go back to a childhood memory." And I go back to my childhood memory, and it's in my childhood living room. And the first thing I hear in my head is, why this memory? Why am I here? What's this about? Why is my living room this way? And all these questions started coming into my mind. And then next thing I know, everything went black. Okay, keep in mind, this is like 5 minutes into the meditation. It's 36 minutes long. Everything was black
Wow.
for the rest of it. And it was my need for control came on, and
Woo.
I, my subconscious just shut me down. And my need for control then, obviously, was what came up, and so I sat with it, and I don't know, this is the basis for shadow work, though, is when you
It is.
notice these things, becoming aware of them. So, last night I was doing a meditation. I try to do one every night before I go to bed, and I started off kind of in a daydream state, and next thing I know, this snake started coming up out of the ground and it was kind of slithering up. And all of a sudden in my head, I hear, "What the heck?" The snake starts to dissipate. I can't see it anymore. It's going black. And I was
Right.
like, "No, no." So this part's named itself Bobby. I was like, "No, no, Bobby, come here. Come sit with me. Let's watch. It's like a movie. Let's watch it together." And all of a sudden it started playing again. And it was it was so cool to be so aware of what was going on, but yet be in my subconscious.
It's so funny because I had, a session with somebody this week, and I had clarity come up too about it was interesting. It was like, just watch your emotions, just observe them. You don't have to fix them. You don't have to talk to them all the time. You can just come in and just kind of sit with them and just observe how they work in your body. Cause I think 99.9% of people don't know how their emotions work in their body. And it was not, don't get me wrong, it was very uncomfortable to sit there and watch these emotions do their thing in your body. And it's funny because the woman, she's a doctor. She said, your conscious and your subconscious are not two different parts of you. They're the same thing. And it's like, she's like, think of there's blocks there and you're pulling the blocks out to blend them. And it's just, I can't even talk. It's just been so wild to just sit back and observe these emotions. And you do that a lot in shadow work, don't get me wrong. But usually in shadow work, you're sitting down and you're working with them slowly. It's very, very slow. Like they say, trauma happens fast, healing happens slow. So when you're sitting there, you're like, "Hi." It's these little energies, like to Bobby, you'd be like, "Hey,
Mhm.
how are you?"
Yeah.
Or just first sending them energy. Can they feel you? Do they even sense you're there? You know? So for me, it was like that was the clarity was sitting with anxiety because so much anxiety was coming up for me this week and just letting anxiety do its thing and me just being the observer and watching it. It was wild.
Yeah. When you're saying that too, just even thinking about feeling things, I have become so much more aware
Mm.
after starting to sit with these parts and understand them and whatnot. I've started to become more aware of how they feel in my body. And, I would say, frustration, for example, when I feel a certain type of frustration, it's because I know I'm not being seen and heard. I'm not feeling like somebody understands me. And all of a sudden, this feeling comes up. And I'm like, oh, I'm not feeling seen or heard now. Okay, I get it. Like, I
Yeah.
just, in the past, I would just think I was mad, whatever. But now I understand what that feeling really represents within me, which it's been huge because it's like, okay, pause for a second.
Right.
This is what's going on. Okay, I get it now.
Mm.
Now let's move forward.
It's funny because yesterday I had to call the gas and electric place at our house upstate, and girl, the woman wasn't listening to me and hearing me, and I felt exactly what you just said, frustration. I felt it come up inside of me, and again, I'm just trying to see it. I'm trying to see how it's gonna work through my body, how it's going to come out. And the woman was not, and it was about like we weren't getting the bill. So for months since August, we weren't receiving a bill. And she's like, "This is the address." I go, "That is the incorrect address." She goes, "That's the address." And I'm like, "But it's not the address." Do you see? I'm already getting frustrated. And so I let it just happen and see what happens. And I let loose on this woman. And I just said to her, I go, "I got to tell you something." And I was not very nice about it. I said, "I am not being heard in this moment. You are not hearing me. And this is the problem with the world right now is no one is listening to anybody else because they can't even listen to themselves. They can't even sit with their own energy, which is freaking wild to me. But now I get it. It is
Mhm.
freaking hard to sit with your own energy. Now I see
Yes.
why people don't do it, but again, problem with the world, nobody's sitting with themselves.
Yeah. And I think about when I first started doing this. It was hard. I didn't completely get it either. I'm a Virgo. I like everything exactly as it should be. Give me step by step by step. I'm not going to make a mistake. I'm going to get it perfect. That's just how I operate.
Right.
And I remember one of the first times where you're like, "Okay, close your eyes, go in,
Mhm,
find her." And
yeah.
I'm like, I don't see shit. What are you talking about? Go find her." I would get so frustrated with you because I'm like, "What do you mean go
Yeah.
find her? I don't see anything."
She'll come to you.
And yeah, and for me, so, for Fran, she sees. For me, I feel. And it's so funny how it's different for everybody,
Mhm.
but
It is.
I would feel the
Mhm.
emotions of what I was feeling. All of a sudden, the frustration would get so intense, or the the abandonment feelings. I would have tears coming to my eyes, and I'm like,
Yeah.
"Okay, she's here. She's here. Like, I feel her."
And it's funny because I was like, "Well, where do you feel it in your body?" For me, all of it's here and in my upper back.
Yeah.
It's in my higher heart and we have our heart and then our higher heart. Higher say that 5 times. And that's where that energy sits. But yes, for you, it was like, "Oh, she feels, she can't see yet." Or
Yep.
she that's, and when you're doing shadow work, use all of your clairs, use all of your senses. Figure
Yeah.
out, "Where do I feel this in my body?" Play with it.
Yes.
Play with the energy. Where am I feeling it? Where am I seeing it? Where am I hearing it? Where am I smelling it? Can I touch this? Does it have does it have a texture? Like,
Yeah.
gotta get it, you gotta get weird. I don't know how else
Yep.
to explain it.
Yeah, and it's funny because the more and more that I work with it,
Mhm.
I've noticed that my 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 left shoulder was more about victimhood. My right
Mhm.
shoulder was more anger. The middle of my
Mhm.
back was abandonment. I started to associate when I was feeling something with those emotions, which started to bring so much clarity. And then I knew what I was feeling, and I think
Mhm.
this is something we've talked about a lot too. To feel safe, you want certainty. That's, with control, you want certainty. Yes. And, it gave me kind of I don't know, kind of a sense of clarity in a way, or kind of a sense of
Mhm.
certainty, because it was like, okay, I'm feeling it in this shoulder. I know that I want to
Right.
play the victim right now. I know that I want to say this person did this to me and that's why I
Right.
feel this way. And that was that was huge to just start stepping into that and being able to name those emotions and those feelings.
And it's good to name them and give them like we actually give them physical names. Like you had that Bobby, right?
Bobby.
I remember I even have some shadow parts that are cartoons. Like if I like when I first started doing shadow work with my doctor, it was, "Well, what does it look like inside your body?" And I go, "It looks like Fraggle Rock." And she's not from this country originally, so and she's like crispy granola, I love her so much. But she was like, "What's Fraggle Rock?" And then she's like, "Give me a second." And she Googles it. She goes, "Oh, okay, I get it now." But it's funny because you start to see things use things from your childhood. Use things that from everyday life that people understand, like, uh, uh, when I explain to my doctor now what my system looks like when I'm in deep anxiety, like, it's at a 20, that's the bear episode of Christmas Eve, the show The Bear, the Christmas Eve
Yep.
episode. That is what's going on in my body. It's like a pressure cooker about to explode, and I'm about to drive my car through the front door. I don't know if you guys ever saw it, but The Bear is really intense, but it's
Yes.
how so anyway, it's wild when you get in there because you're like, this whole remember, you created this whole system in a way,
Mhm.
okay? You created it, and you created it to protect you since you were a child. You are so amazing. That's how amazing you are. Then you not only protect you did this to protect yourself. Yes, then you're also dealing with generational shit. Welcome to the club. It's wild in here,
Yes.
and no one tells you that. Sorry.
Yeah, I
That was my
think
little rant.
no, I think that's a great point too.
Mhm.
I always just thought this is how I am. I'm just a mess, right? I'm just this insecure person who I'm just so insecure, and I'm just not good enough. And why did
Mm.
God make me this way? Why did God make me not good enough? And it was extremely eye-opening when I started to
Mm.
understand why these beliefs formed. And they're this is kind of embarrassing, but we probably all have this story. One time when I was younger, I had walked in on my dad having sex, and it was never talked about. There was no him saying, "I'm sorry you had to see that." There was no
Mhm.
it just wasn't talked about. It wasn't addressed. And here I am, this, like, 4-year-old kid who had no clue what they just
Yeah.
saw and was kinda traumatized, and I was
Kinda.
right? And I was
Sorry.
I was I was shameful. I felt like I did something
Something
wrong,
wrong.
and I was so full of guilt and so
Mhm.
full of shame, and once I recognized how that those emotions had gone so deep just through shadow work, I, like, unlocked a whole chain of events. Like, this is the memory that unlocked everything for me in 2025. I just had, like, this boom, 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 waterfall effect for the rest of the year on sitting with things, recognizing things, opening myself up, and it all started with telling myself, "You had nothing to be embarrassed about. Somebody should have talked to you about that. That was not your fault." And, in making myself feel like I didn't do anything wrong. And that should have happened when I was 4, not
Yeah.
40 years later.
But look who your look who your parent was, you know what I mean? He was probably embarrassed and shameful and didn't and never dealt with those feelings. So how can they sit down and say, "Hey,
Right.
look, Shannon, I know what you saw was inappropriate and I'm so sorry." Like, you're 4. You should
Right.
never and I get it. You just described how feeling sexually abused feels. Shame, guilt, embarrassment. You don't have to go through sexual abuse to actually feel these emotions.
Right.
And again, I'm not trying to discredit anybody's situation. I was sexually abused as a child, but
Yep.
that's exactly how you feel. You just
Right.
witnessed something that was inappropriate to you, and I mean, again, it's wild how you feel these and you carry them for years, decades.
Yes. And
It's wild.
they start to affect everything in life.
Mm,
It's not just one thing. There are so many things that then trigger off of that, so many
mm,
different situations. And you teach yourself, well, I can't be present in this situation because I'm going to
right.
be ashamed or embarrassed. And it's wild.
It's like a root
But
system.
yeah. Oh, hell yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
I'm just it just ooh, it's bringing up a lot, but it's just like shadow work is something you will do the rest of your life. You have to. It's non-negotiable, it's imperative because again, look at the world. It's not cute. It's not cute because this situation is just showing you that people have not done their shadow work and they are operating from their pain, their protector energies. They're not operating from self energy.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter what you call it either. We call it shadow work, inner
Mhm.
child work,
Yep.
healing work,
Yep.
whatever you want to call it, awareness, building self-trust.
Yep.
I mean, there's so many different things you can call it, but it all
Right.
ends up into the same place with
Hello.
you being in alignment.
Yeah, and you're right, words do matter when you're explaining things like this.
Yeah.
Words, because I used to say to when everybody's like, "But it's not what you say, it's how you say it." I go, "Oh, so you have a problem with your hearing and how you would, like, listen to things." I had this conversation with somebody the other day, I was like, "But if I was a man and I was explaining it, like, to you as a man, you would be like, 'Oh, yeah, 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 okay.' But I'm a wo people have issues with that too." That's wild. That's a shadow thing that I'm working on.
Yep.
But words
Yep.
you're right. Ooh, I just hit my thing. Words do matter.
Yeah.
So, I know when we're talking about shadow work, you're gonna be like, "This shit, I don't do shadow work," but it's healing work. It's
Yeah.
becoming self-aware. It's becoming making your subconscious conscious.
Yep.
Remember, Neptune is in Aries, guys. For the last 14 years, it was in Pisces. Pisces, you could have been Delulu and did this and fantasy and did all, you know what I mean? It was easier to make like your dreams come true, right? Aries requires action. It's ruled by Mars. It requires aggression. It's time to move forward. So if you think things are going to get easier from here on out, and then on top of it, Saturn is moving into Aries. Ooh, when is that happening? It's happening soon. I think February 13th. And then they're conjunct, literally coming together like boop. Saturn and Neptune are coming together February 20th. It's gonna be that's gonna be an auspicious day. It's gonna say, "Hey, look, I see your dreams, but they need stability. They need action. They need discipline, responsibility. You can't just delulu your way to the top anymore."
So
So, yeah.
has is that why I'm not an astrology person.
Okay.
I know what you teach me, right?
Mhm.
But is that maybe why things have been so cloudy over the last few weeks or so is because the planets are starting to shift, so it was kind of
Yeah.
like the transition happening?
Mhm. I mean, we felt this. I think Neptune dipped, it was in Aries for a minute and then dipped back into Pisces and then now is in Aries for 14 years.
Okay.
Okay. And this is huge because all the outer planets are changing. We have Uranus going into Gemini soon. Oh God, when is this? I forget which day. It's in my big book. But Uranus is an outer planet, Neptune, Saturn, Pluto just moved into Aquarius not too long ago. But you have all the outer planets moving. Things are shifting. Outer planets do affect us long term and deeply.
Right.
Where inner planets like Mars and Mercury and Venus, those affect us like really instantaneously. Think about it. As the planets move, it then sends the energy down to us. The energy is going to be the energy. What you do with it really matters. Uranus moving into Gemini is just giving you the information that Uranus is in Gemini. Okay. I'm not going to get too deep into astrology. So that energy gives push down to us. And now it's whether we want to take that information from the planets and are we going to do the same thing we've done every single time that Uranus is in Gemini, or are we going to change it?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yep. So
Yes.
as you become aligned, other people also become aligned. And it comes back to, I had told you, I was like, well, I don't always vote because I don't always think my vote counts. And, but if everybody felt that way, then no, nobody's vote counts. But, it's the same thing with healing and shadow work and all of that other stuff too, where if you put the effort in on yourself, you see that
Mm,
reflected back to you. And I had a situation at work the other day where somebody had yelled at me and I said, whoa, 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 pause the brakes. I don't deserve to be told
mm.
that way. And as soon as I did, she started apologizing and then she left my office. Somebody else came into my office and they were like, who was yelling at you? And I told them and I said, it's not a big deal. We got it solved. And she's like, well, she shouldn't be yelling at you like that. And I said,
Wow.
no, no, I mean, you're right. And she goes, yeah, I do that too, don't I? And I was like, well, sometimes. And, and she's my work bestie. So I got to have her back. But, I also want to call her out too. And she's standing there and she's kind of looking off into space. And she looks at me and she goes, what's going through my head right now? And I said, what's that? And she goes, I'm trying to justify why it's okay for me to do it, but not her. And
That happens so much on this journey, on this spiritual journey period. But go ahead. It's wild
no,
to
yeah,
me.
I mean, that's exactly it, right? It just shows to your point, we
Mhm.
collectively have the power to change the collective and to show up differently. And
Yeah.
by me working on myself and being self aware, it's causing other people to be self aware. And so if everybody starts doing the work, we can start changing things. But,
Yeah.
it comes back to if everybody has the idea, though, of, well, if I don't vote, it's just one vote.
Right.
Doesn't
It's like
matter.
that story back in Queens when the woman was being, I think it was in the 70s. She was being and she was being beaten and no one everybody's like, "Oh, somebody else will call the cops." Screaming. Screaming. I mean, psychologists and psychiatrists use that, like, "Oh, somebody else will call the cops. Somebody else will do it."
Hmm.
Remember, the universal law, we are all one. We are all like you even you connected to the worst person in the world. You're connected to that person whether you like it or not. And I
Yep.
laugh at this because cord cutting, okay? You can't cut the cord with somebody. We are all connected. So I'm like, and this is where a lot of people disagree with me, and that's okay. It's been my whole life, so I'll deal with it. But so dramatic. But You cannot cut cords in the way you think. Like, I'm never gonna hear from you're always gonna feel their energy. You're feeling everybody's energy. We're in for some wild times, and I'm gonna tell you this right now. Take it or leave it. If shit is happening on the outside of you, excuse me, it's already happened on the inside of you. Or happening. It already happened. Okay? So if there's chaos outside of you, there's probably chaos inside of you. Does that make sense? Does that just make
Mhm.
sense? So again, our reality is just a reflection of what's going on inside of us. So my advice is to say this. If there's chaos and war and all that stuff happening and you're not liking what's going on, time to take a deep dive inward and say, what's going on in here? I know everybody's like, what does that mean? What do you think it means? If everybody, and this is, and I'm gonna get back to what you're saying that like this law applies to everybody, but it doesn't apply to me. That drives me crazy, by the way. I knew I was like, wait, I gotta touch on that. My brain is going 18 mil. My Mercury is in Gemini, so give me a
You
second.
got lots of tabs open.
Literally, that's my life. I have 18 tabs open. Do your inner work and see how that reflects out into the world. Do it for one day. Do it for a week and see what happens. Even if you don't even do anything with it. You just observe it. You just say, "Oh, I see you. Oh, cool. Okay, I see you anger. I see you frustration. I see you disappointment." Even say, "Hey, happiness, I see you. Enjoyment, whatever, fulfillment. I see you." See what happens.
Yes. Yes. And
What's a
stop outsourcing your emotions too.
right.
I think that's, for me, the why game. I would play the why game. Why do I feel this way? What am
Um,
I feeling, And I
yeah.
would ask myself why over and over because there's, I mean, doing shadow work is a lot easier when you have somebody else to help you. Right. And so, Fran's my coach. So there's times where, we're on a call and she's helping me do the shadow work. But there's also times where I'm not on the call with her and she's not at my beck and call 24/7. Don't know why, but,
Hello.
um, but I still have to do it myself sometimes. And some of those moments, I'm just like, okay, I know something's coming up for me right now. Why? What?
Yeah.
And just asking yourself the questions and forcing yourself to answer and sitting with that emotion and sitting with that discomfort. I started off, it was constantly grabbing my phone, grab my phone, grab my phone.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm uncomfortable. Okay,
Yep.
put the phone down. Okay, why am I feeling uncomfortable right now?
Mm.
And just kind of sitting there and that self awareness that has been key to everything for me. And even right down to realizing, the other day went to the kitchen, I went to get myself some leftovers and I start putting some food on my plate and then I'm looking at it and I could feel the anxiety coming up in my chest. And I'm like, why am I getting anxious over food right now? Well, I have a scarcity issue and controls coming in and scarcities coming in and I'm like, "Oh, if I eat all of this, then I'm not going to have enough food for lunch tomorrow." And it's stressing me out and I can feel it's making me anxious. Why am I getting anxious over this? So I go to the store and buy food. But it was a part that I had to sit with because normally I shame myself like I just did verbally. Why are you getting upset
Mhm.
about this?
Yeah.
And that's half the problem is don't shame yourself for feeling that way. Understand it. So why? Why do I feel this way?
Yeah. Or just observe it. Start with, "Oh, I'm picking up my phone when I feel uncomfortable." Huge observation.
Yeah.
Huge, huge. I
Yes.
realized I've been doing this since I was in school. When shit got hard in school, I would abandon it and I would leave it and be like, "I can't do it." I do that now when I go to write a post and I get blocked. Like, I'm starting to write, and then all of a sudden I'm like, I can't figure out what I wanna say next,
Mhm.
and I'm like, "Fuck it." Slam my laptop, walk away. I always did that with my doctor the other day. because what the work we were getting into or where we were getting into in my body, it was intense. It was not, I mean, we're in the middle of a possible civil war here. I'm not trying to scare anybody, but okay. So I'm in there and I'm like, I can't do this. I almost slammed my laptop and just like, cause she's on Zoom with me. And I'm like, I can't do this. Just being aware of that alone is so helpful. When things get tough, I shut down. And that's a part protecting me because I
Right.
don't want, and then you go deeper with it when you're ready. Like you just said, the
Yep.
why. I
Yep.
don't want to get things wrong.
Yep.
I don't want to be blocked. I don't, and like all this stuff will start to just naturally come up. It's like a root system.
Yes.
All of a sudden you start pulling, all these roots start coming up.
Yes. And it's so I don't know, I think self-awareness has been I mean, it's been the key for me.
Yeah.
I have no other way of saying it. Like everything comes back to awareness. Cause yeah, even if I don't have time in that moment to work with that inner child or sit with that inner child, just recognizing it and just saying, "Hey, I got
Mm,
you. I'm right here." Even if it's just,
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. It's
that's all it
powerful.
takes in that moment. And usually the emotion passes because what do you always tell me? They just want to be seen. They just want to be
What the hell do you
recognized.
want? You just
Yeah.
want to be seen and heard. That's it.
Mhm.
So, like, and I realize this, I do this sometimes with clients, and I'm gonna call myself out, where I'm like, okay, well, what is going on? Da, 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 da. Sometimes you guys just want to be seen and heard.
Yep.
That is it. You just want to be witnessed. Oh, I see that. Yeah, that is really frustrating. You're right.
Yep.
Yeah. I could see that. I could see you're frustrated. How does that feel versus, okay, well, why are you frustrated? You're like, bitch, I don't fucking know.
And I'm just trying to sit with it right now.
Right, I just need you to witness it, and so when it comes to any practice, even with yourself, working with other people, speaking to your friends or family, just sitting there and not, and because the reason why you wanna fix it is because you feel unsafe in their
Yeah.
emotions.
Yep. I've also noticed too lately that that one of my patterns is I want somebody else to validate me in where I'm at or what I'm feeling in order to feel it. And so I'm doing this challenge with my blog where I'm making 15-minute videos for 30 days and I'm just trying to take up space. And this morning I got done and I don't know, I felt really, really good about it. And I was driving to work and I was just like, yes, I did it. Like, woo, I'm
Yeah.
so happy. And usually in that moment, I wanna text somebody or call somebody or I mean, you've received several of those texts and voice notes where I'm like, "I did it. I'm so proud of myself." But I'm looking for you to say, "Yes, you should be proud of yourself. You did good." And and in that moment, I was like, "I don't have that pull to text anybody right now." Like, me saying you did good
Mhm.
was enough. And, you know,
Yeah.
that was huge, and we do that a lot with venting too. When we wanna vent to somebody, what are we looking for? We're looking for them to say, "You're justified in the way you feel right
You're
now."
valid.
Yeah.
It's validation.
Yep.
And now that part of you doesn't need anybody else to tell her she's validated or
Yeah.
like you did a good job. You did a good job. You know you did a good job. And
Yep.
because you're really like updating, I don't like to say healing, but updating these parts and to say, I don't need anybody else to validate me. I got
Yeah.
this.
Right.
I want to go back to on the journey. It's okay for you. These rules are okay for you, but they're not okay for me.
Yeah.
We just talk about this for 30 seconds.
Oh, we could talk about it for a whole 60.
I will tell you, okay, let me explain. You are not going to be perfect when you start shadow work or when you start any sort of self-improvement. Okay? In the beginning, I would be like, to my sister or my friends. Like, "Oh, your feelings are just your feelings. You're playing the victim." But when I needed to play the victim or be validated, I would sit there and be like, "Well, I my sister's like, "You're playing the victim." I'm like, "No, I'm not." Yeah, I was. See, it's always okay for somebody else and you call out somebody else, but when it comes to yourself, you gotta be willing to call yourself on your shit.
Mhm.
You have to.
Yes. Yeah. And I think that's been one of the, well, I don't want to say hardest things, but that was getting started with shadow work. That was
Yeah.
hard because taking it from, well, you did this to me to,
Mhm.
no, I allowed this, or no, I created this situation, or I didn't set a boundary. And the ways that you start to see that you influenced the situation,
Yes.
that, I mean, yeah, that
And
mirror.
you it's never wrong.
Yeah.
And it's funny because no one can hurt your feeling when I heard this, I was like, "No one can hurt your feelings but you."
Right.
I'm like, "That's not true. Shannon just hurt my feelings." You allowed her. You
Mm-hmm.
allowed her, now she's controlling you.
Yep.
That's why when you listen to what's going on in the world right now, you're allowing what's going on to control you, and this is an indication, an invitation to go in and say, "Where am I leaking my energy to be controlled?" Or, "Where's my
Mm,
leakage? Where's my little"
yep.
"Why is this
How do I get
affecting me?"
that power back for myself and
Excuse me.
take it from
Mhm.
you?
Yeah,
Yep.
right. Like, what's going on the news is literally and I just were you on the call the other night when I told everybody what the news was? What it stood for?
Yeah.
Did you know that?
Mm-mm.
So news stands for North, East, West, South. I know, mind blown. I learned that as I used to watch headline news with Ed Dig or whatever his name was. What was his name? Was it Ed? I forget his name. Headline news. That's all with my father growing up. And so I asked my father, I was like, "What does news mean?" And my dad's like, "That's a really good question. We should look it up. Or we should figure." And obviously, Google was not a thing at the time. So my
Right.
dad said, "You're never gonna guess. I figured out. I asked people at work." But the point is, if you're allowing that's what the news's job is to create fear. Fear, then I can control you. It is for information, don't get me wrong, but how are you taking in that information?
Mhm.
Are you letting it scare you?
Right.
You know? So this is where you take your power back. That's what shadow work really does. It takes because if I can control your emotions, I can control you.
Yep.
Wild. The shit's
Yeah.
it's like you then become like a wizard and you're like, "Ooh, alchemy." Like you're like because you start to work on yourself inward, and then all of a sudden your outer world is, like, amazing. It like, once you can understand your inner world, your outer world reflects that, and you're just like, "This is amazing."
Yeah. Oh,
And then you see go ahead.
my favorite thing is when there's a mirror and all of a sudden I'm like, "Oh, I get it. Oh, I see it.
Mm,
Oh, oh, oh." And it's so, like, I don't know, and there's something about me seeing it versus you pointed it out to me too. Like,
well,
I have
yeah.
to feel it, right? Like,
Yeah.
logically, like, there's a lot of times where we're on a call and you're like, "Well, you see it, right?" And I'm like, "No."
You're like, "No." And that's okay.
And then you tell me and I'm like, "Oh, okay." Like, logically, it makes sense. And then, like, 2 weeks later, I'm like, "Guess what? Guess what I learned today?"
I
And I'm
know,
telling
right?
you and you're like, "Yeah, I told you that 2 weeks ago."
Like,
"Well, I know that I
I
can feel it then. It
literally
doesn't count."
oh, I literally have a sweatshirt from Loewe that says, "I told you so," or "I told you."
So,
Because listen, there's something about a Taurus. We know before a lot of people know shit. That's like
yeah.
Aquarius is like that as well. It's just it's like fuck it. My sister goes, "Don't say it." I go, "I'm gonna say it." She's like, "Don't say it." I go, "I told you. I told you so. I told you exactly what's gonna happen. How so it's so funny. Like one time my sister was like, "But I don't like to hear drama stories." He said, she said shit. I don't give a I'm gonna be real. When you come to a session with me, I already know what happened. So my sister, she explains this. She goes to explain. I go, Rach, I already know what happened. And I explained to her, I was like, this happened, this happened. She goes, how'd you know that? I go, hi. It's easy to read a pattern.
Right.
And I'm psychic. Same thing happened with another client the other day. She was like, I was like, I don't need to hear your story. I'm going to tell you what happened. And I told her, she's like, yeah, that's exactly what happened. I go, it's your pattern.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we all have them.
Yes, we do. I even have my own. I mean, I'm not like, I just, it's just wild to me that And that's what shadow work is about. It's about patterns, right? And that's what we can do. We can change patterns in us. We can change patterns on the outside of us. That's how
Mhm.
powerful we are. Wild, isn't it?
Yeah. But you gotta be aware of them first, which means you have to do the work.
Yeah.
There's no easy button. Like, when I first started doing this, before I met Fran, I'm
Yeah.
watching all these free YouTube videos, and they're like, "Oh, just affirm. Affirm, 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 affirm." Okay. I mean, yes, that helps. It helps, and I'm not gonna say I wasn't able to manifest things, because I did, but once I got it, I still questioned it. I still questioned my worth. Why this? Why that? And guess what? I don't have it.
And do you know why?
Why?
Because what do affirmations need?
Belief,
There it is.
feeling,
They need belief.
emotions.
They need
Yeah.
a belief. So when you actually delulu yourself to get it, which a lot of people in the last 14 years did, and that's not going to work for them anymore. And there's a lot of people who are going to have rude awakenings. But when you delude yourself to get it, right? It happens. Great. Love that for you. And then all of a sudden you lose it. That's why I think you brought it up when we were having conversation, lottery winners.
Yeah. Yep.
They win the lottery because they believed they could, but they didn't believe they could keep the money.
Yep.
So
Or
they
they
lose
even
all the money.
deserved it, even deserved to
Right.
have the money. And so, yeah,
Belief.
I
Yeah.
can believe that I win it, but I can't keep it because I
I
don't
don't
feel like I
deserve
deserve
it.
it.
That's a belief. Everything starts with a belief. Everything starts with this is now an emotion, turns into a wound, it turns into a belief.
Yeah.
Like whatever happened, trauma, whatever, now is the emotion is expressed, whatever, because we're human. There's 5 primal woundings. Um, I mean, those energies get expressed and then those turn into wounds and then they turn into beliefs. That's just how it happens.
And you change your beliefs by embodying it within yourself. So,
Mhm.
my biggest wound is abandonment. And I constantly was afraid somebody was going to abandon me. I don't deserve somebody to stay.
Right.
Once I started showing up for myself, things started to change. I started to see things differently. I started to hear things that were actually being said to me instead of, "You're not good enough. You don't deserve this."
Now can you see why you, like, attracted the people you did?
Yeah.
They felt the same way.
Yeah. And it neither one of us had the capacity for it. It wasn't just them. It wasn't me being the victim,
No.
because you attract the frequency you're on.
Yeah, you do. And I think we should touch on this, in another podcast, but I'm gonna say this. The universe was the original algorithm.
Oh,
The universe is the original algorithm. And I'm not talking about, like, coded by a person. It's the original algorithm. Because when you go on social media and you start clicking things that you like or save, that is going to be excuse me, what's gonna be brought to you. That's what the
mhm.
universe does. And we could talk
Yep.
about that next time. We could talk about it. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I love when I sat there and that download came to me, I'm like, "What?" I go, "Oh, I gotta write this out." So I wrote a whole post about it.
Yeah. No, I like that theory because or that concept because it's so true. It comes back to mirroring and frequency and all of that stuff. And once you change your frequency, what's around you changes. It has to.
Yep. So, if you are feeling like there's a war inside of you right now, because that's what's on the outside of us is the imminent sense of war, like, try to go inward and say, "What's going on? Where do I feel at war with myself?" I think that's a really good journal prompt for this week,
Yeah. I
is
love that.
where do I feel at war with myself? And for me, it was my emotions. I kept thinking I had to, like, drill sergeant them. Like, I had to be like, "You need to do this, and we need to da 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 da." And instead, it was like, I need to pull back. I just need to observe them.
Yeah. Mine would be around control and curiosity.
That's because of uncertainty.
I know. I love
I
it.
hate to break it to you guys, but when you guys come to me and Shannon is a person who did this to me and still does sometimes, I wanna know how. How do I do this? It's like,
Mhm.
"No, bro, no, you don't need to know how right now, you just need to sit and observe." You're like, "That's so fucking boring, I don't get anything out of it." You get so much when you so much information when you slow everything down.
Yeah.
Just think about it really quick. When you have
Yeah.
a fight when you have a fight with somebody, right? And then all of a sudden, like 20 minutes later, you're like, I should have said this. And I should have said this. And I should have did this. And I should have, because you weren't calm.
Yep.
When you're calm, you could do those things. But
Yep.
there's a power in using your emotions and you having control over them that brings this calmness that's like, I'm in control. You are
Yes.
not hearing me. You are not seeing me. This is not appropriate right now. And then you could say whatever else you need to say.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Yeah, and that need for certainty is it's my
Oh,
safety, right? Feeling safe, and but
yeah.
I've been doing so good at finding safety within myself that now I can catch myself. I was talking about the one meditation. I had another meditation last night where I was, oh no, I already did talk about this. Yeah, where I was like to my little part, like, come sit with
Yeah.
me, right? And as soon as I was able to catch it, it was like, oh, yep, yep, okay, I get what's going on now. And so that awareness, I
Dude,
can't sing its praises enough.
I know awareness again, everybody's like, "Oh, I'm so self-aware." And then you're like, "No, this person is not self-aware. They're not even they're so unself-aware." Is that a word, unself-aware? That they're standing in the middle, and I see this a lot in New York City, if I'm walking with somebody and they're just standing on their phone. You are not self-aware.
Yeah.
In New York I have moved people out gently, "Excuse me," out of the way, or I shoulder check you. There's 2 different options you're gonna get from me. I'll shoulder check you like we're in the NHL. Or I'll just move you over.
Yeah.
But yeah, self-awareness is like, listen, we're not 100% self-aware, but at least you understand why you do the things you do, and it's beautiful.
Well, and I
Really is.
love too the opportunity to go back and analyze the situation. So I had an interaction with my ex-husband the other day, and once I was done, I was like, okay, let's think about how I behaved. Let's think about the things I said, why I said them. And,
Yeah,
it started off talking about taxes. And next thing I know, I realized I was just looking for validation. I just wanted him to tell me I was a good mom. I didn't give a shit about anything else.
right.
The only thing I needed from him in that moment was to say, you stepped up. You're a good mom.
Yep.
That's all I needed.
But in order for him to say that, he has to see it in himself first,
Mhm.
and that's
And
why people don't do it.
yeah, and it was so clear that he wasn't seeing that in himself with some of the other things that he was saying. So,
But you know what he does see in himself? Where he lacks.
yep,
So that's what he'll project out to you.
which is
Excuse me.
exactly what he did. Yep.
Yeah, of
You would
course.
say this and this and this and this about me, and I was like, "No, I
Mhm.
wouldn't."
Yep, and that's
So,
exactly what like, I could it's so easy to read people, it's not even funny. When you are trying to say that I'm doing something wrong, it's 'cause I'm mirroring regardless if I'm doing it or not, I'm mirroring something back to you where you're doing something wrong. People tell on themselves all the time, it's funny.
yeah.
I just say, "Okay."
Yeah. It's definitely eye-opening
Yeah,
as you start to pay more attention.
yep, I agree.
So, if you have any questions for us or any comments about shadow work, please put them in the comment section. We would love to, answer them or pick up on this on another episode. So,
Mm. Yeah,
anything
I'm
else?
excited. No, this was a great episode.
Yeah, thanks for
I
joining
love
us this week, guys.
Yeah, and let us know what you guys think of the podcast. If you love it, if you hate it, if you want us to talk more about this, if you wanted us like, we love questions.
Yes, and
Bring us
we
some
have
questions.
a Instagram page too. I think
Mhm.
it's the Shadow Sessions _PC. Come follow us. Give us some feedback. We'd love to hear it.
And we're on YouTube as well, right?
Yes, YouTube and Apple Podcasts
Cool.
and Spotify.
Alright, and Spotify.
Yep. So,
Alright,
all right. Thanks, guys.
bye.